Hi everybody. This presentation is another presentation from Oracle Apps, and this is all about back-to-back process order flow in Oracle Order Management offered in Oracle application. In this presentation, we'll talk about the back-to-back order flow from the Oracle Order Management, Oracle Purchasing, Oracle Payable, and Oracle Receivable. We will touch how to create a sales order and progress the order line in order management, then how to create a requisition purchase order and in Oracle purchasing, and then how to perform receiving against the purchase order which we have created. And then we'll little bit talk about the what we do in the Oracle payable and receivable. So as shown in my this diagram on my screen, we have a multicolor presentation. So the blue color will talk about the component in Oracle Order Management. Orange color talk about the component in Oracle Payable. The purple for the Oracle Receivable, and the green is for the PO and inventory. The back-to-back order flow start with the creation of back-to-back sales order. In this talk, I will not discuss how to create the item for back-to-back sales order and all. That is already covered in covered in my previous presentations, like how to create a item for the back-to-back sales order. The process starts when we create a sales order header and order lines in Oracle Order Management. So once the order and order lines are created, we book the sales order. Once the order is booked, to progress the line further, we click on the order line, and from the pop-up menu, we select progress line. Once we select the progress line. The progress process prompt you with a message, create supply. The moment we press OK, it will do two things. First of all, the progress line will progress the workflow for the sales order line to ship line activity and mark the status as notified. So when we say notified, basically it means it wait for some further input. So it progress the workflow for the order line to ship line notify activity and the status as notified. The second thing which the create spy will do, it basically insert the data into the requisition import, as well as it insert the data into MTL reservation table. In the column demand source ID in the MTL reservation table is 2, which says the demand is sales order. At the same time, it also set the value 13 to supply source ID in the MTL reservation table. The source ID 13 means purchase order. Once we have data into the requisition interface table, run the requisition import to create the requisition in the Oracle purchasing. Once the requisition is created, approve it, and then next step is to create the purchase order. Oracle has provided a functionality auto create to create a purchase order from the requisition. So create the purchase order by means of a auto create from the requisition. So very easy steps are involved. It will basically, the auto create process will ask you the requisition which you want to create, and then some information like currency code and all, and just provide all that information, and then you have the option to create the purchase order through auto create as a automatic or manually. Usually I do the automatic. Press the automatic button in the create order screen, and the purchasing will create a purchase order for you. Once the purchase order is created, approve the PO. Now we have a couple of things. Once the PO is created in the system, we have a couple of things to do. We have to receive against the purchase order, as well as we have to create a vendor invoice in Oracle Payable against the purchase order. So the orange part in my diagram highlights the steps we do in the Oracle Payable. So once we have a purchase order created and approved, let's create a payable invoice against the purchase order. and then create a payment against a purchase order. Sorry, create the payment against a payable invoice. Many times the setup is like that. The payment should not be issued. Not many times, most of the time the setup is like that. The payment should not be issued to the vendor till the goods are received in the inventory. So most of the time we create the invoice in payable against the purchase order, and then we perform the receiving activity against the PO. So when we do the receiving activity against the PO, we enter the receiving information, the how much quantity we have received against the purchase order. So, and once you provide all this information in the receiving transaction form and press the save button, the receiving process will trigger receiving transaction process concurrent program, and this concurrent program will basically do the inbound transaction for the stock as well as a outbound transaction for the sales order. And internally this will call order management APIs. So the moment RTP is successful, when we do the RTP, it will do the inbound and outbound transactions, and also called order management APIs. These APIs basically read the data from the receiving process and push the order management workflow, which was already in the ship line notified status, to further. The next activity in the order management workflow is the fulfilled effort. So the receiving process, the receiving transaction process, push the order management workflow from ship line notify activity to fulfilled effort. Once the workflow is in fulfilled effort, we need to run the workflow background process. It is if it is not scheduled. 100% of the chances in most of the not in most of in every organization I have noticed the workflow background process is always scheduled to run after 5, 10, 15 minutes. So once the workflow is at the fulfilled effort activity, if you run the workflow background process manually or it is scheduled, it will basically push the data from order management to receivable interface table, where the auto invoice process will basically pick this data and create the invoice for the customer in the Oracle receivable. At the same time, it will also push the workflow from the deferred fulfill activity to close activity. So once we have a receiving is done against the PO and the invoice is also done against the PO, we can create the payment against the payable invoice. So that's all about the back-to-back order flow in Oracle Order Management offered in Oracle application. As we have noticed, the whole process involve more than one module: order management, payable, receivable, and purchasing. If you have any question, any technical question, what table we are touching in this table, what are the important queries we need, what are the joins between order management, payable, receivable, PO, inventory table, feel free to visit my blog and leave a comment, and surely I will get back to you with your answers. That's for now. Thank you very much.